Why do you think the board should go?
Oh, look, this whole fiasco around the Christine Holgate affair, the way that's played out, the cuts to the community services, the threats to some 8,000 jobs in the BCG report. There's a range of matters that the board's clearly got a fair amount of explaining to do. We think it's time for a refresh and an independent body be set up to select the board and simply not have it stacked by Liberal Party hacks.
So you obviously heard the testimony of Christine Holgate, who said that there was a lot of board members with Liberal Party allegiances. Is that your problem?
Yes, the board should be independent. This is a government-owned business owned by the Australian people, one that they rely upon. The board should be independent of government. It should be free to make decisions in the best interests of the community and the company. And it needs to be independent of government. So therefore, we're asking for the board to be cleaned out and be replaced with an independent board simply to perform in the best interests of the community services and the company as a whole.
Is there any evidence that the board is acting in cahoots with the government? It is still independent, isn't it?
Well, you've got to ask yourself, the interactions have been happening over a fair period of time now in relation to the regulation changes that we're currently before the Senate, and the whole issue associated with the removal of Christine Holgate, led by the Prime Minister in the Parliament. So clearly there was discussions between the board and the federal government resulting in that day last year and the removal of Christine Holgate. It's very clear that's been an ongoing issue for some time. It needs to be cleared up, and the board needs to be replaced and be independent of government.
What is your message to Australia Post, and are you pushing for Christine Holgate to be reinstated, or has that ship sailed?
Well, that's a matter for the committee to make determinations. That's not a matter for the union. We certainly don't act for Ms Holgate. All we say is, like any other employer, whether it be the CEO or right down to the postie or anyone in between, they deserve procedural fairness, they deserve natural justice. If that hasn't been applied, then there needs to be an outcome for Ms Holgate, and that's a matter for the inquiry, and we'll wait to see what its findings are.
Do you think she got that justice?
From the inquiry so far, the evidence given, it doesn't appear that she's been given the procedural fairness and natural justice that every single Australian deserves at work, and obviously that's a matter now for the inquiry as it deliberates towards its final report.
What have you thought of the grassroots campaign to support Christine Holgate? Many of these individual post officers believe that she was the reason that those businesses and their businesses survived. Is that right?
Well, in light of the LPOs who have made a massive investment in their local post offices and who were facing a very bleak future prior to the employment of Ms Holgate, and beyond, it appears during her tenure the LPOs were well supported. The bank at post service and the financial services provided them a lifeline and additional income that made their post offices viable. So in a sense, it's not just about the LPOs. That's an important point for them because they've invested a lot of money as small business owners, but also, in essence, ensuring that it was about maintaining full-time jobs, maintaining as best we could the community services. But what we've now seen, as you've seen over the past 12 months, a cut to the regulation, delaying services being cut from delivering to the community every single day of the week, whether it be packets, parcels or letters, to moving to every second day delivery, and has resulted in extraordinary delays to the Australian people. And on this point alone, the government now needs to make decisions to end the regulation on June 30 and return the services to the community.